Well, our ongoing coverage of the Nintendo Switch 2, it continues, and it continues first off by reminding you we do have a giveaway for a Nintendo Switch 2 going on right now down in the pinned comment and in the link in the description. I wish everyone luck. We'll be drawing the winner the week before Nintendo Switch 2 comes out. Now, what we're going to be talking about right now today and in this video is we're going to be covering 3 to 4 different things, but these are really important things. One of them is Nintendo talking about their controller, the Pro Controller, and how they were attempting to and feel like they maybe have created the pinnacle of game controllers for Switch 2. We'll also be going over the entire launch lineup and all the games currently announced for Nintendo Switch 2. And on top of that, we have to dive into a leak surrounding Mario Kart World. And yeah, folks, I didn't forget, in case you did, we literally have a Mario Kart World Direct happening on April 17th. You know, we'll be live streaming it right here. And besides that, we get a good look at the actual physical game boxes in person, thanks to these Nintendo Switch 2 events over the weekend. And my lord, you know, I thought everything initially looked ugly, just looking at like the front side, kind of like digital versions of it. But in person, no, these things actually look pretty nice. And I feel like this is one of those things where sometimes something you see on the internet is not the same as something when you see it in person. So that's pretty cool there. Same is true when you watch video game footage on YouTube. It's way better in person than it ever will be online. That being said, another thing I want to just remind you guys of, and this is just something that came up in my mind randomly, speaking of the Nintendo Switch 2 experience event. Hey, we actually have a couple people who played the Nintendo Switch 2 for at least 5 hours, probably close to 9 to 10 hours combined, coming on the podcast this week. And one of them is our very own Nintendo Byte podcast co-host, Thunderstash Gaming. That's right. He spent 5 hours with Switch 2 over the weekend. So yes, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to bring tons of questions. The community is going to have questions. It's going to be insane. So I hope you guys tune into that podcast this upcoming Wednesday. That being said, let's get into our first story today. And it deals with this. Nintendo has had a long-running project seeking the pinnacle of all controllers. This kind of got overlooked. Nintendo did this Ask the Developers thing on their website, and we'll probably cover little aspects of it over time. But this one I wanted to cover because the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller is actually one of the more fascinating controllers to me. Now, not just because of the color scheme, but apparently the word and the feedback that we're hearing about people that used it at the Switch 2 experience and how smooth the control sticks are. Well, obviously you have to ask Thunderstash Gaming ourselves about that, but also that they put the GL and GR buttons on the back. It is the first quote-unquote standard controller. We say standard, Switch 2 doesn't come with it, but it's the first standard controller that comes with those back paddles that isn't like some super expensive special edition or like expert controller, right? So as we scroll down here, it says a neat little Nintendo development tidbit was tucked away inside the company's Switch 2 interview published this week, which concerns controllers. Technical director Tetsuya Sasaki was speaking about the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller, how it was designed from scratch. The team put in a lot of work to make sure that the left and right control sticks are quieter and don't make noise, even when they're moved quickly to the edge. You guys all know control stick noise, right? We're used to that. Also mentioned that given how smooth they glide, Nintendo calls them smooth gliding sticks. It was also pointed out there's no drag when they move. That eventually prompted Sasaki to bring up a project within Nintendo with the goal of creating the pinnacle of all controllers. So here is the quotes from the interview. As they're calling them smooth gliding sticks, we made efforts to reduce the feeling of bumping when you tilt them. In fact, there's been a long-running project at Nintendo with the grand ambition of developing the pinnacle of all controllers. And we've been researching it hard for a long time now. The Joy-Con 2 controllers for the Nintendo Switch 2 have also received an overhaul with a bigger design, control sticks that are larger and more durable, L&R buttons that have been lengthened, the ability to attach the console with magnets, and support from setup. HD Rumble 2 is included as well, yada yada. Obviously, those go over to the Joy-Con 2 stuff. But yeah, look, the Pro Controller looks really nice. It definitely is something I plan to get day one. Obviously, I'm trying to get a pre-order in for it whenever pre-orders go up. But I'm really excited for that. And what I'm also excited for are the games, right? The games are why we play. And oh my gosh, we're just going to go over this giant list of games. And you know what? Because it can be kind of boring just staring at a list, how about some gameplay footage from like the Switch 2 event? Because why not? So here you go. And let's just read this list to you guys. So here's everything coming. So here's the full launch lineup. Arcade Archives 2 Ridge Racer, Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster, Civilization 7, Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, Deltarune, Fast Fusion, Fortnite, Hitman World of Assassination Signature Edition, Hogwarts Legacy, Kinitsugami Path of the Goddess, Mario Kart World, Nobunaga Ambition. I can't pronounce it. Anyways, Awakening Complete Edition, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, Shine Post Be Your Idol, that's a Japan-only title, Split Fiction, Street Fighter 6, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, Jamboree Plus TV, Survival Kids, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, and Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. Now, these are games announced to be coming later. Borderlands 4, Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Drag X Drive, EA Sports FC, EA Sports Madden NFL, Elden Ring Tarnished Edition, Enter the Gungeon 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, that is the PlayStation 5 version, by the way, of Final Fantasy VII Remake, Goodnight Universe, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, Human Fall Flat 2, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, remember that one is slated for winter, Kirby Air Riders, Kirby in the Forgotten Land, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, plus Star Crossed World, that's right, not a launch game, but will be coming later, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, NBA 2K, No Sleep for the Konami date from AI, the Somnium Files. We have Obakadaru, I can't pronounce it, but it's Chase and Seek, Pokemon Legends Z8, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, Project 007, Raidu Remastered, The Mystery of Soulless Army, Reanimal, Shadow Labyrinth, Sonic X Shadow Generations, Star Wars Outlaws, Star Seeker Astroneer Expedition, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Tamagotchi Plaza, The Dusk Bloods, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, 2 Point Museum, WWE 2K, Wild Hearts S, Witchbrook, and Ys X Nordics, which is Japan only for right now. So that is a really big list of already confirmed games for Switch 2. Things are only going to grow and grow pretty much by the day. That is as up to date as of the time of recording this video. More games are assuredly going to be announced relatively soon. The NDAs are up. Companies can do whatever the hell they want. So we'll see what happens. But now we have to get into a leak from Mario Kart World. And normally I would say spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. I don't think this is really a spoiler. It's something that's pretty much been in every single Mario Kart. But yeah, that's why I'm not going to spoiler warning it. Mario Kart World leaks Rainbow Road, right? In what has come as a surprise to no one, Mario Kart World will indeed feature Rainbow Road. Rainbow Road has been a staple of the series going back to the original. But now it appears to have a first official look. And here we go. This was spotted in some art over on a official Nintendo website. And you can see, like, look, obviously this looks like a unique version of Mario Kart World, especially with these street lights or whatever are going on up here. This star thing in the middle. Looks pretty interesting. Obviously, the roads cross here, and we know, like, in Mario Kart World, you can drive to each one. So I'm curious if there's like a cannon that shoots us up to this or what. Anyways, as it says, there's not much that can be gleaned from the image alone, but it's pretty clear we're getting a Rainbow Road once again. Again, Nintendo hasn't teased this yet. I'm guessing that this will probably be in the Mario Kart World Direct, but, you know, again, and I got to apologize. Last video, I said Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 World like multiple times in the video. It's going to be a while for me to get rid of that Mario Kart 8 rolling off my tongue. It's been 11 years, guys. 11 years since we've had a Mario Kart. So cool. Now, last I said we'd be looking at some of the game box art, and this is just to give you an idea. These are first-party games we're about to look at about what the game box art is like. And honestly, in person, this looks way better. So we got this posted up by Stealth here, sources Mr. Shika. And I mean, look at this. That doesn't look that bad. I'm sitting here looking at the art. I love that it wraps around the spine. That is completely different than Switch. Switch did not wrap around the spine, so I like that it wraps around. Then you get the Nintendo logo, the age rating, the Switch 2 logo at the top, and the name of the game. I love that it just wraps around like that. That to me is awesome. I think we knew it wrapped around, but like now just seeing it like this is nice. Yes, I do still find like that Switch 2 being like an inch tall at the top a little interesting, but I'm wondering if it's that tall because of the side where you see like the Switch logo with the 2 underneath it. I wonder if they felt like that was a good size for that. And so when they did the wraparound, they're like, we'll just continue it to the front. But I gotta say, looking at this, obviously Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza, this looks really good. I actually don't mind it now. It looks less atrocious looking at it. In fact, I dare say it almost looks good. I still obviously think that they could have did something with the top, but and obviously, it's using an all red case, but I actually think this is really good. And if you're gonna put these on your shelves, right? A lot of people like putting the spines out on their shelves. It's gonna look very nice doing that. So actually, you know what? These stand out really well from Switch 1 games, and I kind of like it now after initially being kind of like, now I'm like, okay. Yeah, I get it. I get what Nintendo was going for. Anyways, folks, let me know what you think about all this news down in the comments below. We have so much more to cover. We haven't really even gotten into game-specific coverage yet. We're kind of waiting on the game-specific stuff besides that Mario Kart leak until probably later on this week. We want to kind of let the dust settle on all the big things that people are freaking out about, right? The closer we get to the Mario Kart Direct, the closer we'll get to more and more games coverage, but there's still plenty of other news for us to cover. We have a big accessories video in the works right now as well. Don't know if that's going to drop today, but it should drop this week because we're going to go over Nintendo stuff, the third-party stuff. It's going to be great. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am Nathaniel Rufflejans from Nintendo Prime, and as always, I'll catch you in the next video. By the way, give me a bit. I gotta go play my Switch 2. All right, guys? All right? See ya.